We are learning new information about the gunman behind the attack in Dallas.
Following the shootings in Dallas, coming up, we'll tell you how a Madison County support group is coming together to support the victims.
And police now say a missing Northern Kentucky couple was murdered. Their family is begging for help finding their bodies.
This is WKYT News at 6.
New information is coming out of Dallas tonight. You're watching WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. Investigators are releasing new details about the gunman who ambushed officers in Dallas, Texas, Thursday. 5 died, 7 others are injured. Kenneth Craig is in Dallas with our top story at 6.
As flowers and cards piled up on 2 police cruisers that have become a memorial for the fallen officers, the mayor of Dallas paid a visit there Saturday.
Wherever you want.
The gunman, Mika Johnson, murdered 5 police officers in sniper-style shootings as a peaceful protest was ending Thursday night in Dallas. CBS News sources say the former Army reservist had been building an arsenal over the last 2 years. CBS News also learned Johnson was honorably discharged from the Army even after he was accused of sexually harassing a female soldier. Speaking from the NATO summit in Poland, President Obama called Johnson demented.
So we cannot let the actions of a few define all of us.
Police also found bomb-making materials inside Johnson's home and a journal. They say he may have been planning the attack here for a while.
He was trained to fight in our military for us, and he used it against us. He was an American terrorist, is what he was.
Cheryl Hurd came to police headquarters to express her gratitude. She was among a group who joined together in grief as they said a prayer for the officers who survived and the 5 who made the ultimate sacrifice.
President Obama will travel to Dallas next week to meet with the victims' families. Many here in Lexington are reacting to what's happened. Some were marching downtown today. Others were at the University of Kentucky reflecting. WKYT's Sabira Rayford continues our top story team coverage.
No justice! No peace! No justice!
These are the cries of a heartbroken community.
Innocent lives have been shed, not only in the black community, not only in the white communities, not only in the Mexican communities.
The people here today say they are marching for freedom and for the lives lost in Baton Rouge, Minnesota, and Dallas.
Pain. You know, I mean, there's not really words that can really describe how I really feel about it, you know, but I know there's something that's got to happen, you know. I can't really put it together, but I just know I want to do something that I can show an example to make things better, you know, and be there for somebody.
People young and old, black and white, came to march in solidarity with one another.
All lives matter, but it's black lives that are being slaughtered and that are being carelessly killed at hand. And, you know, we got police brutality. We got all this nonsense going on, and there's no need for it. It's 2016. It's time for us to band up, stand up, and be together as one race.
People spilled over into the street. Some were overheated and tired, but they continued to march with one goal.
Because something needs to be done for all the killings that's going on.
We have to fight back!
On UK's campus, people gathered for a chance to heal.
We're having a healing circle for the Black UK community and the people who care about them. So anyone is welcome to come, but we're going to be doing some different exercises to allow us to grieve and do some creative coping in the wake of the recent violence that's happened this week.
Thank you for organizing this.
Della Mosley says her one goal is to provide a safe haven for students and faculty impacted by the recent violence.
My main point as a healer is that we don't have to suffer in pain alone, and that we can heal and be stronger and figure out how to even resist in the future if we can learn how to collectively heal together.
In Lexington, Sabira Rayford, WKYT.
After the Dallas attack, many communities in Kentucky held moments of silence to remember those who died. The dangers law enforcement face are all too familiar for the families of officers in Richmond. WKYT's Mike Linden talked to wives of Madison County officers. His story is new at 6.
While the shootings in Dallas have resonated across the country, it especially hits home here in Richmond, where less than a year ago, Officer Daniel Ellis was shot and killed while in the line of duty. And in the wake of tragedy, a community has come closer together now more than ever.
Police officers probably have one of the hardest jobs. They're targeted every day.
After Officer Ellis was killed last November, this group of women came together. They all have husbands who work in law enforcement.
It's been awesome. I think it's been a great thing for all of us. We all need this support.
Around 100 women make up the Police Wives of Madison County group. They say having a husband in law enforcement can be stressful, especially after the shootings in Dallas.
My husband and I have this routine every night when he leaves for work. I'll say, "You be safe," and he says, "Will do." And then we tell each other we love each other, and you don't know if it's the last time, but again, you just have to trust that it's in God's hands.
For a community that's still healing from an officer-involved shooting, members of the group say the group has helped the healing process.
Having the support of the women who watch their husbands walk out the door and say the same prayer has been monumental.
In Richmond, Mike Linden, WKYT.
The group is collecting donations to send to the families of the Dallas shooting victims. They're asking for restaurant gift cards and for letters. You can drop off donations at the Richmond Police Department or the Berea Police Department. And in Montgomery County, people are honoring officers. A group of police wives called Wives Behind the Blue is holding a prayer vigil tonight at 8 for the men and women who served their county and also for the 5 officers who died in Dallas. The vigil will be on the Montgomery County Courthouse lawn. A woman in Lexington is recovering tonight after a run-in with a robber. Her husband says 2 men broke into their house on Sandersville Road and tried to steal their car. WKYT's Victor Puente has this Crime Tracker report.
The vehicle that struck that woman was stolen less than a mile from here. Her husband says she's lucky to be alive.
Traumatic. It's like a nightmare.
Moments after his wife had been taken to UK hospital, Brian Spangler was still trying to make sense of what had happened to her.
In the moment, I don't know if she's been struck so hard she has internal injuries, she's going to die. I mean, they had no regard for her life. They have no regard for our property.
He says early Saturday morning, someone threw a brick through the back door of their Sandersville Road home. He went downstairs and found a laptop and purse missing. Then they saw their car pulling out of the driveway. Spangler took off out the front door with a shotgun in hand.
I forced him to the ground verbally, telling him I'm going to shoot him if he doesn't get on the ground, get down, get on your belly, get on your belly.
His wife followed him outside, and all 3 were in his neighbor's yard when that thief's accomplice drove up to the scene.
Comes through the yard with a vehicle and hits my wife, and she hits her so hard she hits her head on the truck parked in the driveway, and the other guy, they hit me on the side. I drop my gun. The guy jumps in the car with the other guy, and they take off.
That vehicle was a Dodge Journey that had been stolen from a home on Merluna Drive. The owner didn't want to go on camera, but did have surveillance of 3 men checking the door handles of cars along her street before one of them got in her vehicle and took off. Police eventually spotted the Journey and chased it to Winburn Drive, where the men abandoned it and took off on foot.
That dude struck her hard with that car and very easily could have been killed.
The owner of the stolen vehicle says that police told her while they were chasing it, the driver got up to speeds of more than 100 miles an hour. There were some dents and damage to a wheel, but the vehicle is still drivable. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Lexington police have been searching for the men close to where they found the abandoned car on Winburn Drive. Police say a man killed her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. Now a mother is pleading for help finding the couple. Yesterday, police charged 52-year-old Craig Pennington with 2 counts of murder. They say people last saw the victims, Robert Jones and Crystal Warner, leaving a rental property in Washington County Sunday night. Police found the couple's car abandoned in Georgetown. Caitlin Sentner is talking with Warner's mother.
It's been a very trying week for family and friends of Robert Jones and Crystal Warner. Family says they won't find closure until there's a proper burial. It was Friday afternoon. Family and friends were out searching for the couple and hoping for a positive outcome when state police said they had some news. Investigators told family they were investigating a murder. News family says a mom never wants to hear about her children.
I never thought in a million years, my beautiful, sweet daughter, that anything would ever happen to her like this. She's just kind to everybody and good-hearted and would do anything for anybody. And just wonderful.
Family asked people not stop searching. They hope the public will look on their properties and look for any sign of the couple. In Russell County, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
State police say that they are still trying to pinpoint an area of concentration for their search.
It has been quite the week leading up to this weekend, but things are nice and calm, and I think they'll continue that way at least for a couple more days. We'll break it all down in just a few minutes.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It's nice to see the sun out there across the entire area, not just in a few locations while others are dealing with rounds of showers and thunderstorms. It's sunny across Kentucky out there for us on this Saturday, and you can see some of that same sunshine I'm talking about there here in Lexington to Frankfort, Jackson, London, all of us, and we're running in the low to mid 80s. So not a bad looking day as well with humidity levels down. You can certainly feel it out there, but it's not as oppressive as it has been over the past few days around here. Area-wide temperatures, you're going to find more of those low, generally low 80s, but with a few into the mid 80s down toward Middlesboro and warmer out in western sections of Kentucky out toward Bowling Green. A little thin band of clouds. You can see it sweeping in, and you could also see it over on the sky cam for Frankfort. You can see those thicker bands of clouds mixing in. The reason? We've got a little frontal boundary that's kind of hanging out with us here today, and there you see it. And got an area of low pressure that's tracking well up into Canada here with rounds of showers and thunderstorms around it. What will happen is the front will eventually completely clear the area. It's not going to clean the air mass up at all. I mean, we're still going to stay with at least a little bit of humidity. This isn't one of those cleansing fronts that originated deep into parts of Canada and brought some true chilled air with us. Not this time, at least. What we'll have is that front close enough to continue the threat of some rain, at least along the boundary. Most of that will happen south of Kentucky over the next few days. So into your Sunday, into Monday, I think we stay mainly on the dry side. There might be a stray shower chance that tries its best to develop and roll over the state line from Tennessee, but generally we will be quiet through the weekend and even into the early parts of next week, into your Monday as well. But once we cross into Tuesday, those chances will start to ramp up a little bit. And you can see our warm fronts also coming into play, and will lift across the area going into Monday night and into Sunday. And that's where we'll run into those better rain chances because we have more heat and humidity around here. Even today, as I mentioned, we're not talking about the super dry air. What will happen, even as that front is still just meandering to our south, it will allow for some of the humidity, those darker shades of green, to show up here starting with tomorrow. So that's what begins to happen here. But notice the core of the humidity. Again, it's all about shading of green here. The deeper it is, the more humidity you're going to find. So the dry air will not last. Humidity returns into the day tomorrow and especially into next week. That's when we start running into the higher levels of it around here. 7-day forecast time. Very nice around here. You got a mix of sun and clouds into Monday, and then a few showers and thunderstorms will approach the area into your Tuesday. And once they're here, we start running with that daily chance again. Maybe not quite as impressive as they were last week, but certainly chances when we're back in town. Around here, Kristen.
All I see on there is humidity.
Yeah, it's July for you, and it's going to try to come raging back for us after a couple of days of a break.
Thank you, Jim. Lee K. Howard's in next with sports. Lee K. Thousands are at the Kentucky Speedway tonight.
It is a big night of racing for NASCAR Sprint Cup racing in Kentucky. We will preview the Quaker State 400, and Tyler Eulis makes his NBA Summer League debut. Those highlights are coming up next in sports. They'll run the Quaker State 400 tonight at Kentucky Speedway in Sparta, and according to drivers, the newly paved mile-and-a-half tri-oval will be a handful with NASCAR's new aerodynamics package in place. Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch have dominated this track in just 5 Cup races at Kentucky. Both have won 2 each. But there's a mixed reaction from the drivers when asked if the repave might actually level out the playing field for tonight's race.
The approach is to take all the Kentucky notes and run them through the shredder and start from scratch because, you know, what's worked here in the past isn't even close to what is going to work here. The challenge now is, I think, a little bit more mental because the groove is so narrow on a repaved track that You have to be perfect, and not just perfect by yourself, but perfect in traffic.
The entrance to turn 3 is weird. It's a flat entrance down into the center of the corner, and then there's just the car just gradually gets into the banking in the middle of the corner, and that's unusual.
Regardless of how tough these repaves are, this track in particular has that difference between turns 3 and turns 1 and 2. I mean, turn 3 is so flat and really pretty treacherous that even if we're locked down, having trouble gaining an advantage through 1 and 2, somebody's going to slip up in 3. So what it lacks in bumps now, it still retains in character.
Looking forward to that tonight. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch led 185 laps and won the NASCAR Xfinity race at Kentucky Speedway on Friday night. The defending Sprint Cup Series champion needed overtime to win the race, going one circuit past its scheduled 200 laps after a late caution. Busch then outdueled Daniel Suarez and Austin Dillon in a 3-wide restart to earn his first series win at Kentucky since 2004. Tonight in E-Town, 17 new members of the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame will be inducted. Among those going in tonight, Scott County coach Billy Hicks, the state's winningest coach with more than 900 wins. He's won 11 region titles and 2 state championships, and that's just at Scott County. He's won more state tournament games than any coach in history. And former Mason County and UK star Darius Miller, who led the Royals to the 2008 state title and was named Mr. Basketball. Miller was one of the few players in Kentucky history to win both a state title and a national championship in college.
I've been blessed to be on great teams. I think we could have had a couple more in UK too that kind of gave away, but I mean, just to get one, especially my senior year, was amazing. And my senior year at Mason County too, so. Both levels I ended on a win, so I've just been blessed to be in great situations.
Let's run through the names of the class of 2016. They include Donis Butcher, who played for the Knicks and coached the Pistons, Pearl Combs, Stan Harden, Jeff Lamp, Donna Moyer, Randy Napier, the coach of Perry County Central, the all-time winningest girls coach in Kentucky. Carly Ormerod led Sacred Heart to 3 state titles, then played at UK. Gene Rhodes, Ralph Richardson, Jim Rose, Dwight Smith, Tom Thacker. And they continue. Harry Todd, Bobby Turner, who played on those great male teams with Darrell Griffith, and George Wilson, who played at the old Dunbar. Well, the Phoenix Suns scooped up Tyler Ulis early in the second round of last month's NBA draft, reuniting him with his buddy Devin Booker. Today, the pair teaming up in the NBA Summer League, taking on the Trail Blazers. Blazers with the ball in the first, but it was stolen away by Ulis. He gets it up ahead to Booker for the easy slam. The old Kentucky connection. And then it's Booker passing it over to Ulis. Takes 2 dribbles, a pull-up jumper, and that's good. Good pro debut for Ulis. He finished with 11 points and 7 assists. But the player of the game was Booker, knocking down the corner 3-pointer here. Booker had 18 points in the third quarter alone. He finishes with a game-high 28 and 8 rebounds. Suns win 86-73. Late last night, Scalabiciere made his NBA Summer League debut, finishing with 7 points and 8 rebounds, and he looked comfortable at the stretch 4 position, even knocking down a 3-pointer in transition. Willie Cauley-Stein also had 7 points in the Kings' loss to the Raptors. DeMarcus Cousins was in the crowd, and he liked what he saw from his Kentucky brothers.
Kentucky West. But I'm excited for him. Talented young player in Scal. Willie's coming along. He's a big piece of our team. That's my partner on the inside. So I'm excited for both of them. I think they're going to be special players in this league.
And Serena Williams has captured her 7th Wimbledon singles title with a 7-5, 6-3 win over Angelique Kerber. That gives Williams 22 Grand Slam singles titles, tying Steffi Graf for the Open era record. Williams had 13 aces, won 38 of the 43 points on her first serve, and was not broken in the match. She truly is the best. And Serena and her sister Venus also won the Wimbledon doubles title.
She made that look easy.
She's made tennis look easy, and it's not that easy.
We'll be right back with a final look at weather. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $288 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million. Look looking at some rain chances next week.
That's right, but before we get to those rain chances, we've got a decent little run in the weather world the rest of the evening. Now, you'll feel a little bit of humidity out there, but it's not going to be off the charts yet. Sunday into Monday, mix of sun and clouds around here. Daytime highs in the mid and upper 80s before the rain chances start to open up again. Once they get here, they stick around. You were laughing over there, Lee.
I'm laughing about something totally different. Your weather forecast looks great. I'm not laughing at that. We were talking about Mellow Yellow, the drink, and I never heard of Mellow Yellow. So we're not plugging it, but I'm just saying.
We don't even know who we're sitting next to.
It's been around since
here.
1979.
I grew up a sheltered life.
Hope you'll join us right back here at 11 o'clock tonight.